What is going on, YouTube? Jay here, back at it with another battery. This one is by the company Lipuls, and the one that we currently have on this golf cart is actually quite impressive. It is a 30 amp hour battery, and I've been using it for the past 2 months and a half, I think, maybe a little bit less than that. But I sold two of these sister batteries, and I sold it to a guy locally, and I was stuck with this one. And what I do is that I have a guy from Fort Lauderdale. He buys my batteries, so once I'm done with them, he comes and gets it from me. And so I kept this one just so that I can move the golf cart around. And believe it or not, guys, I am getting 11 miles in total with that single 30 amp hour battery, and at least I don't leave the cart stranded until I get the next battery. This one here is by the company Lipuls, and it comes with something that really caught my eye, and that is the BMS. So on paper, they're saying that it has a 200 amp BMS, but this one has a max power of 500 for 5 seconds. Now this is very, very big because, well, that will make this battery designed for hills. So if you live in an area where you are consistently climbing hills with your golf cart and sometimes your BMS shuts down, well, this is a great battery to get so that it doesn't happen anymore. So just keep in mind that it is for 5 seconds and no longer than that time. So this is what we get inside. In this particular scenario, we are only getting the battery, no displays, no charger. As a matter of fact, I'm using this charger, which I got from Amazon, and I will share the link for you guys. This charger is really good because it came with this plug right here, which I forget the name of it all the time, but it came with this plug, and what it does is that it allows me to consistently change depending on what I need to charge. So in this case, if I want to go directly into the terminals of this battery, I can. Now keep in mind, this is a LiPo charger, and or for lithium phosphate, of course, and this one charges at 20 amps. So you can charge it in about maybe 4 to 5 hours depending on the current charge. Okay, and this is the baby right here. We got things like the manuals. All right, let's go ahead and check them out. They look very nice and colorful, of course, explaining a lot of information on here and so on and so forth. So these are the specifications: 51.2 volts, 100 amp hour with a 200 amp BMS, as I already explained. It has the prismatic cells, which is nice, and these are the measurements in inches. And somewhere in here is where it says the discharge, the BMS can do 500 amps right there for 5 seconds. This is absolutely insane, if you guys ask me. So this is the app, and it's called 𝐏𝐿𝐄𝐑𝐅𝐄𝐂𝐓. It came with 48% of charge, as you guys can tell right there. So we got the let's see, we got the parameters. I think that for now this is all we can view. Okay, but at least it gives us the current amps being used. So by the time we get to the testing, I'm going to place the screen of my phone on the video, and that way you guys can take a glance and see everything that is going on. And boom, let me see if I can flip it. There we go. And on this side is where we get most of the info. And I saw some bolts on here. These are 8 or not 8, the thread is 8 millimeters, but we have ones that are, I think they're all the same actually. Well, a couple of things have happened since I installed that battery, the Lipuls battery. This is the 100 amp hour. Well, I did receive this brand new one by DC House. This is another 100 amp hour, so you guys might want to stay tuned to the channel to see what this is all about. I believe it came with a display and a charger. Also, on this golf cart, I got a new battery meter, and this battery meter is programmable. I set it up to the 16 cells that are in this battery, and it is set up for lithium with the correct voltage. I have the cutoff voltage at about 48 volts, and the maximum is about 53.2. That's with a full charge. And I've used this thing for about 10 miles, and I'm only 1 bar away from being full. So let's go ahead and reverse this. I did tested it already with family on here, guys, just because I wanted to give the BMS a little bit of a headache with this battery. And I gotta say, it's quite impressive. I was able to do some hard pulls with everybody inside of the golf cart, and man, does it work well. You see, guys, not all batteries are built with the same capabilities, even though they have same numbers on paper, but they're not built exactly the same way. So that means that certain BMSs are going to have a different brand. I believe these are all generic batteries, but they're not made with the same components as other manufacturers. So even though they are generic, in terms of what they have inside, can be shared with other brands. In this case, Lipuls went with very good qualities. And this golf cart, by the way, has been unlocked ever since I got it, and it can do up to 21, 22 miles an hour. And I always ride hard even when I have weight on it. And so this battery has proven to be built very, very well, guys. Like, very well, which is awesome. So right here we are just driving around the neighborhood. Typically cops don't say anything around here, guys. So something I'm gonna do here right now is do a little bit of our hard pull to see how many amps is being absorbed. So I saw a 127. All right, so that's below, way below to what this BMS is capable of doing. Again, you can do up to 500 for 5 seconds, guys. That's crazy. So I would say that this battery, based on its performance, this battery is ideal for those of you who live in hill areas. So if you live in near a mountain or where there's a lot of hills and you have to use it for that purpose, unlike Florida here, we have flatland, so we don't suffer from that too much, which is always great. But in case you do, then at least you know that is going to be good for that purpose. Also, guys, as I've been driving this golf cart, I have been exploring some new places. I have seen people ride around where I ride, and as a result, I have found some new places to ride, which is cool. Now, keep in mind that my golf cart in particular is not Florida legal, and it's not legal to ride on the sidewalk like I'm doing. But luckily for me and many others, cops don't really say anything unless you're doing something stupid, where you hit a pedestrian or something crazy like that happens. Then yeah, they might say something, you might get ticketed. But for the most part, if you're riding in a friendly manner and you're at least obeying whatever rules are in neighborhoods, like for instance, this one here has a 15-mile max speed, then you should be good to go. So yes, guys, I'm gonna have to calibrate this little battery meter that I have on there, just because it's obviously not giving me the correct information, and so we're gonna have to work on that. But besides that, guys, this battery feels like it actually woke up the golf cart. You see, I come from the lead time, or the time USB, and the time USB is just a 30 amp hour battery, I think, with a 100 amp BMS, and it has a peak of about 300. So you can still accelerate with the time USB, but you can tell the difference between one BMS and the other. This is super cool. So yes, the acceleration feels a lot more responsive with this battery. Now, of course, guys, you know, don't get me wrong. I've had some great batteries out there. Some of them even more powerful than this one. I had one which had a 300 amp BMS, and it had 105 amp hours, and that's been my record for the strongest battery. I'm looking to get a 150 amp hour just to see what the differences are. But yeah, so far this one here has been great. This one also has a plastic casing, as you guys know, and well, we can't really open it unless we unglue it, and then we're gonna lose the water resistant capabilities. But it does have a temperature sensor. It has a overcharge protection, undercharge protection, and all that good stuff, guys. There's a nice property here that looks abandoned. That one in the corner, guys, I've been looking at it for months now. And yeah, that thing is abandoned. It's in really bad shape, but those are the properties I like. You fix them and flip them. I'm looking at that one now for the longest. So yes, guys, between the ride today and what I've done off video, we have done a good, I don't know, like 13, 14 miles in total. And well, all I can say, guys, is that these typically have a range between 28 miles for a 100 amp hour. So to me, that's quite decent. I don't see anything wrong with it, in the sense that, you know, I think you're getting the range that they can give, which is great. And overall, I think you guys will be satisfied with this brand. Keep in mind that they include a 5-year warranty, and that comes with any manufacturer defects, you know, anything that goes wrong with the BMS or any of the cells inside, well, you know, you are covered. Like I said, guys, I was able to ride with all my crew, well, most of them. I think I had like one or two that were missing on that particular ride, and all of them were pulled just fine with this battery without any cutoffs at all. I didn't measure the amperage being absorbed with that weight, but we know it's going to be more than when I'm riding alone here, guys. So far we got it depleted to 59%. We still have over half of our charge. So if you guys kind of do the math there, 13, 14 miles, we still have a little over half. Just try to use that as a reference to know and understand what's going to be the range on this one. The installation was very straightforward. As a matter of fact, I'm about to show you here that after parking, before we wrap it up, I'm going to show you the install. Alrighty. There we go. Right here it is. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and park this baby up. And now we can go ahead and stop the onboard recording. There we go. So these are the connections that we have on this golf cart. If you look, I have the main wires that go to the controller all the way at the bottom. Second are the ones that go to the charging port, and third is for the power converter, which is that part right there. And that's all you have to do. This particular battery, like with many others, it fits right into the canal. As you can see, there's a divider right there, and look at that, guys. I can't even fit my finger in there. And then I strapped it down with this, and that thing is nice and solid. It doesn't get hot. It doesn't seem like there is anything that would concern me. So yes, all in all, it is working great. So I think, guys, that with this being said, we have covered enough about the Lipuls 51.2 100 amp hour battery. If you guys want to check out the link, I have left it for you down below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you on my next one.